Zack Snyder wants to make a TV show for Netflix, but his idea is allegedly too taboo. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Following the long-awaited release of Zack Snyder's Justice League, the former DCU director has kept busy with a new slate of cinematic projects, such as Army of the Dead and Rebel Moon Part 1, with Part 2 expected to release this year. However, the filmmaker's interests are not limited to the big screen. According to him, he has an idea for a television series that streamers just won't pick up. Rebel Moon, release, cast and everything we know. Zack Snyder pitched a TV show to Netflix, but the streaming giant ultimately turned it down when Zack Snyder was asked by Joe Rogan on The Joe Rogan Experience whether he ever considered doing a Netflix series. Snyder answered, "I pitched them Fountainhead, but no one wants to make it." Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. I mean, nobody wants Fountainhead, but that's what I wanted to do. I pitched them Fountainhead because I've written this super adaptation of that book. I think it would be amazing, but no one wants to make it because they think it's taboo. Ayn Rand is taboo. For reference, The Fountainhead is a 1943 novel written by Russian-American author Ayn Rand, which follows an architect who refuses to give in to accepted, conventional standards and pressures. When Rogan asked why Ayn Rand is considered taboo, the director admitted some think the book's a fascist propaganda piece, but to him, it is a direct comment on making a movie. I don't know. She's taboo amongst the intelligentsia because they think she's a fascist and they think the book's a fascist propaganda piece. That's not why I like the book. I happen to like it because, to me, it's a direct comment on making a movie, right? A movie about an architect who won't make the buildings everyone wants them to make, and the struggle he goes through to get the buildings made the way he wants to make them. Of course, I like that. I'm sure there's plenty of movie directors that don't like Fountainhead, but I just think it says so much. Given that Snyder is known for his trademark style, and fans fought for him to release his Justice League vision, it is easy to understand why such a story speaks to the filmmaker. Snyder went on to explain how Ayn Rand arrived at her story for The Fountainhead and why it is one thing he had that he has always wanted to do. Ayn Rand wrote Fountainhead in direct response to being noted on a script that she had written. She had been studying this movie about skyscrapers and she kept submitting versions of the script and they kept noting her until it was unrecognizable. And then she was like, this is what happens to work. It gets noted till it disintegrates or disappears. So yeah, that's one thing I had that I've always wanted to do. But I don't know that the world will allow that. It is worth noting that Zack Snyder had not always planned for his adaptation of The Fountainhead to be a TV show. In talking with the New York Times in 2021, he referred to the project as a movie and noted its potential for divisiveness, saying, "We need a less divided country." Fountainhead right now is on the back burner, and I don't know how that movie gets made, at least not right away. We need a less divided country and a little more liberal government to make that movie, so people don't react to it in a certain way. As to why the writer and her work is supposedly a touchy subject, Zack Snyder admitted he's exclusively a Fountainhead fanatic. Atlas shrugged. Fair. I mean, you can play with that. I'm pretty exclusively a Fountainhead fanatic. Also, because it's melodrama too. It's the most melodramatic thing ever. But it goes even farther back than that. He discussed the project with The Hollywood Reporter in 2016, calling the book a thesis on the creative process and what it is to create something. We have The Last Photograph that I've been working on for a long time. It's a small, sort of weird project about a war photographer in Afghanistan. I have been working on The Fountainhead. I've always felt like The Fountainhead was such a thesis on the creative process and what it is to create something. Warner Brothers owns Ayn Rand's script and I've just been working on that a little bit. When asked if it would strike the wrong tone given recent political events, he said, "I think so. But we'll see. I'm in no rush." No rush is right and nothing new for the filmmaker. Back in 2018, Deadline reported that The Fountainhead was supposed to be Zack Snyder's next project. Anyone who knows Zack Snyder's story gets why The Fountainhead is appealing to the filmmaker. And, since the Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice director is best known for stylized action movies, it would be refreshing to see him tackle a message-heavy book adaptation through a TV series format. But due to the book's divisiveness and the current political CL, Zack Snyder, the mastermind behind 300 and Rebel Moon, is stepping into a whole new ring, literally. The visionary director, known for his signature slow-motion action sequences and epic storytelling, has set his sights on the brutal, adrenaline-fueled world of the UFC with Brawler, his upcoming feature film. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. And if there's one thing Snyder does best, it's delivering high-impact, visually stunning action that leaves audiences on the edge of their seats. But Brawler isn't just another sports movie. With UFC President Dana White involved and filming set to take place in some of the most high-stakes environments, this project is shaping up to be a game-changer for MMA fans and cinephiles alike. While details on casting and plot remain under wraps, early buzz suggests this could be one of Snyder's most grounded and intense films yet. What is Brawler and why is Zack Snyder's latest project already making waves? Read on to find out everything we know so far. Zack Snyder is cooking up something massive, and this time, it's all about the blood, sweat, and chaos of the UFC. Brawler isn't just another fight movie, it's got UFC President Dana White backing it, Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority Chairman Turki Al-Sheikh funding it, and Snyder himself bringing his signature intensity to the mix. In other words, this is about to be a cinematic knockout. Filming is rumored to take place in Las Vegas and Riyadh, two of the biggest fight capitals in the world. And here's where it gets even wilder. Some scenes might actually be shot during real UFC events. Imagine the energy of a packed-out arena, the roar of the crowd, and Snyder's signature cinematic flair turning it into something next level. So, what exactly is Brawler bringing to the table? How does it stack up against other MMA classics? And more importantly, how will Snyder's signature style translate into the unforgiving world of professional fighting? Let's break it all down. Love him or hate him, Zack Snyder is one of the most fearless directors in Hollywood. He doesn't just make movies. He goes all in, crafting larger-than-life worlds with his signature mix of slow-motion, high-contrast visuals, and raw, emotional intensity. But with big swings come big risks, and Snyder has taken plenty. His Dawn of the Dead remake in 2004? A risky move that revived the zombie genre. 300, 2006. A hyper-stylized historical epic that could have flopped but instead became a cultural phenomenon. Then there's Watchmen, 2009, his dark, divisive take on superheroes, and Sucker Punch, 2011, a wild, original concept that split audiences. And, of course, his DCU journey, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and the infamous Justice League drama that led to the fan-driven #Release the Snyder Cut movement. Now, the big question, who's stepping into the cage? While Snyder hasn't spilled the details yet, Star Wars and Ferrari actor Adam Driver's name is already floating around as a potential lead. If that casting happens, it's game over and a lethal combo. And with Dana White involved, don't be surprised if some real UFC legends make an appearance. This one's already shaping up to be a must-watch. MMA movies have always packed a punch, but Brawler is already looking like a heavyweight contender.